today we are going to have a very short briefings, very short briefings on the Bollinger Bands. Okay, I hope perhaps that everyone can, they heard about the Bollinger Bands, right? So today I'm going to go through Bollinger Bands, very short sessions. You probably taking like 30 minutes or 40 minutes only. Okay, if let's say you have any questions, you can write down, I can comment below, and if like I have times, and I will just answer to your questions. Okay, today topic will be Bollinger Bands, another way of trading. Why saying that another way of trading is because I will focus only a way of using Bollinger Bands today. So perhaps everyone have heard about these Bollinger Bands, but there's a lot of techniques for Bollinger Bands actually, but today I will just focus on one strategies and one techniques, a very simple techniques that everyone can use, a very simple techniques that everyone can apply on their tradings. Okay, let me introduce myself. My name is Joe. I'm Joe Cha here. I'm actually a dealer in Klang Valley. Okay, I'm actually in the KL Eco City. So most of the clients who opens under me, then they will know me. Okay, thank you for everyone for joining us. And today is I think it's the third week of the MCO. Hope everyone is doing well. Okay, before we start, let me do some disclaimers. Okay. So the ideas expressed are solely the opinions of the speakers. Okay, the content of these slides is provided as general information only and should not be taken as an investment advice. All the contents shall not be taken as a recommendation to buy or sell any stocks. So any actions that you take as a result of information, analysis, or commentary on these slides is ultimately your responsibility. So please consult your investment advisor before making any investment decisions. So today we are only sharing, we do the sharing sections, and we are just sharing what is Bollinger Bands to you guys. So if let's say you have any questions on the stock or any question on the portfolio that you're having right now, then probably you can just consult on your dealer or remiser. Okay, what are Bollinger Bands? Okay, Bollinger Band short form we are saying as BB. Okay, it's not a BB gun, but we are saying it as Bollinger Bands, BB lah, short form. Okay, Bollinger Bands, there is a lot of formations, a lot of different charts in Bollinger Bands. One of the charts that you will see is like here. Okay, Bollinger Bands, there has a upper bands, and then middle bands, and lower band. So this is what we call as the Bollinger Bands. So this is one of the chart that you can see from the from our website. Either this is from other website or from our website. Okay, this is one of the patterns. So next, what are Bollinger Bands? Okay, so in wording, Bollinger Bands are actually a technical analysis tool created by John Bollinger's name after his name, Bollinger Bands. So for investor to check on the oversold and overbought signals, which is the upper bands and lower bands. So I will just explain later on the things. So Bollinger Bands composed by a very simple three lines only. One is the simple moving average, SMA. So I perhaps everyone is knowing about the simple moving average, and if let's say you don't know, then probably you can just go through our videos. We have a lot of video regarding the moving average. Okay, so it's composed by middle bands, the simple moving average, upper bands, and lower bands. So the upper bands and lower bands are typically two standard deviations plus or minus from a 20-day simple moving average, which can be modified. So when you think that, oh, this is very calculative and I don't know how to calculate the Bollinger Bands or everything, don't worry. Currently our system, our M+ widths, there's a lot of functions, there's a lot of indicators that you can just by using one click, and you can enable it in our charts. Okay, you don't have to think about the formula, you don't have to think about everything that you think is very very difficult. Okay, so just for information, the upper bands and lower bands are typically two standard deviations plus or minus from a 20-day simple moving average, which can be modified. Okay, from the chart here you can see that actually, okay, this is one of our technical analysis charts from the M Plus platforms. Okay, when you right click on your mouse, you will see it in the system. Okay, so it's formation by the upper bands, which is the above of the candlestick. Okay, above of the candlesticks is upper bands, and then in the middle of the upper bands and lower band is actually by moving average, simple moving average SMA. Okay, this is very this is an indicator actually, but it's composed. The Bollinger Band is composed by these three formations. Okay, another one will be the lower bands. Okay, lower bands. Okay, it's actually at the below of the candlesticks. Okay, it's the lower tails of the candlestick, so we are seeing it as a lower band. So what we can use of make use of these upper bands, moving average, and lower bands. Basically, we can use it as a oversold or overbought. Okay, overbought or oversold system, or in other way around, it can be a resistance. Upper band can be a resistance, lower band can be a support, and moving average can be a support as well. It's a middle range of supports. Okay, so we can use this indicator, these simple Bollinger Bands, which can be default in our system, by using it to interpret these charts, how it's going to move and how the candlestick is going to do. And from here we can interpret the trends of the stocks. Okay, so we are using the upper bands and lower band, including the moving average, to look at the things. Okay, today our strategy will just only focus on one thing. Okay, or I have to repeat this, we will only focus on one thing, but I will go through the Bollinger Bands very briefly, very quickly, so that you have to know what is the basics of Bollinger Bands. So Bollinger Bands, again, it composed by three things: upper bands, moving average, and lower bands. Okay, this is the chart patterns. 5 things to know about Bollinger Bands before you start to trade. Okay, 5 things you have to know. Okay, I think most of you all didn't use Bollinger Bands in your tradings, right? Most of you are using the EMA, moving average, okay, and then exponential average, and then the again like Fibonacci, okay, and another indicators. But Bollinger Bands probably you guys are very not familiar, or you guys familiar with, I'm not sure. But 5 things you have to know about the Bollinger Bands very quickly. First, always use default settings. Okay, this is very common, right? So don't have to think about the things, and then you always use the default settings. Volatilities and volume. So these are the things that you have to know regarding the Bollinger Bands. Thirdly, squeeze bands. Okay, squeeze bands. This is the strategy that I will share to you regarding the squeeze bands. This is the strategy that we will be doing for today. Okay, fourth will be the time frame. What are the best time frame for using these Bollinger Bands? And another one will be the riding of the bands. Okay, this is very simple things, and I will explain it through section by sections later on. Okay, 5 things I have to know. First will be always use default setting, volatility. Third, the strategy squeeze bands. Fourth, time frame, and the fifth will be riding of the bands. Don't waste your time of thinking. Okay, always use the default settings. Where can you find this default setting? Okay, most of you are thinking that I don't find this in the live slide, and I don't find it in the charts. Okay, actually this is the slide that we're having. Most of your in every one of you who are assisting customer or assisting clients to M Plus Online, you will be able to access to this M Plus with slide. Okay, this is free, and it's powered by Chinese, which are we giving for our clients for their best user. Okay, the indicator is actually on the right hand side. You can see over here. Okay, you just click on the indicator and you search for Bollinger Bands. There's 2 Bollinger Bands and Bollinger Bands 2 lah. So you can put 2, but usually we only put 1. Okay, this is the Bollinger Bands. And then enable Bollinger Band with only one click. Okay, so you just go to our system and then you click on the Bollinger Bands. It will be only one click, then you will be enables all the Bollinger Bands. So the chart will come out with like this. So different charts, they have different chart patterns. Like this width, like you can see that there's a dot for upper bands, and then the line for the moving average, and the lower band will be the dot as well. But when we go back to the another one, this one, this is another technical analysis. Is actually composed by a line only instead of a chart. Okay, instead of the dot line. So it's actually different chart, they have different patterns, so you don't confuse with the other. Saying that why this chart they have a different Bollinger Band style, but the other one will be a different Bollinger Band style as well. Okay, when I go back to here, so this is the Bollinger Bands, where you can click on it. Okay, if let's say you have computer in here, then you can just click on it. So another one will be the second one, is the volatility and volume. Okay, this is very important because volatility and volume is very important for us to interpret whether there's a breakout. Okay, there's a firm breakout. Okay, there's a not a false breakout. We are saying that it's coming with little volume. So what we can do is that you have to enable the charts. Okay, the chart pattern is actually like this. You have to enable the chart with the volume. Always remember, every chart that you are looking at, you have to enable the volume as well. Okay, volume is very important for us to see whether it's a false breakout or it's a very firm breakout. Okay, so Bollinger Band is a great analysis tool to check on the volatility and understand how widely the stock price can swing from the peak and to the valley. Okay, peak is actually the top and valley is actually the bottom. Okay, so from this Bollinger Bands, we can say that is actually we are able to check on the volatility and understand how the price can go further, how the price can go up. Sometimes you don't have any ideas. Okay, by example, today they breakout, but where's the resistance point? You don't know. So you enable the Bollinger Bands, and it will help you to get the determinations, to check on, to understand at what price the things we can go to. Okay, so always include volume along with the Bollinger Bands in your chart. So in this way, you only can able to read out exactly the breakout, the firm breakout from the charts. Okay, the volatility of the breakout of the Bollinger Bands is actually followed by the increasing of the volume for a particular stocks. Okay, later on I will show you how it's going to be. So this is the charts that we mentioned. First, enable your Bollinger Bands. Okay, this is a dot line. So remember what I said is that the upper bands, it will be the at the upper tails of the candlestick, and the middle one will be the moving average, and the below one will be the this one. When you see at the lower tail of the candlestick is actually a lower bands. Okay, it can be a support, it can be a resistance for this upper band and lower bands. It depends on your interpretations. Always remember, in technical analysis, there's no right or wrong. So in technical analysis, you can just have your own interpretation. Everyone interprets differently. So for my side, I think that this actually can be it can be supports and resistance, but maybe others saying that it actually can be oversold and overbought. It's actually the same interpretation. It depends on how you can use it. Okay, once you can use it to interpret it, then it can become a tool for you to earn money in the markets very easily. Okay, so we look at this slide. It's actually Mr. DIY slide. Okay, this chart is actually the Mr. DIY. Okay, we have the Bollinger Bands and we have the volume as well. Okay, two things. Okay, volume first will be volume higher than before. Okay, and then second thing, breakout upper bands. So this is what we're calling that when there is a Bollinger Band breakout, there's a very firm breakout. We are saying that it's actually along with the volume. Okay, it's not actually if let's say the volume is very little and it break out, it might not be as strong as you think. So what we are saying that we can see on these columns, okay, and this box here, at the things here, and this is the volume higher than before. What we can say is that, okay, when you check on here, okay, the arrow, red color arrow here, when you see here, okay, from the 2nd of February until the 8th of February, you can see actually the volume actually is increasing. Okay, on the probably on the 9th or the 8th of 9th, okay, at this time of period, you can see the volume actually higher than the 4 days before. Okay, this is very firm breakout. It's saying that the volume is increasing, the stronger, the buyer interest is very strong. That's what we are saying, the volume is higher than the day before. Okay, and secondly, breakout upper bands. Okay, when you see over here, why I'm saying that actually the breakout is actually along with the volume. Okay, the upper band is actually breakout. Okay, but for the first day of breakout, you can see over here, probably it's over here, on the point, on the place that I point out. Okay, on the first day of the breakout, it's actually the volume is not very firm, so we cannot confirm yet. But at this point of level, probably we can enter a little bit, and we're saying that okay, it's a breakout, but I don't know the second days is actually a confirmation or not. So we're waiting for the second days to see whether it's a confirmation to break out firmly and it's a firm breakout with volume. So when we can get a confirmation, yes, it break out very strongly and it break out the upper band with the strong volume, then probably in this point of level, I will enter it. Okay, this will be the enter point. Okay, this is an example. I don't have any buy sell call. So this is an example that we can use as the upper band as the resistance. Once it break out, then with volume, then we can confirm. Then once that, then we will be in enter it. Okay. So seconds D and O. Okay, D and O is a technical semiconductor. Yeah. So we have two rules here. One will be volume higher than before. Okay, we'll be checking here at this chart. We will seeing, okay, you will be seeing which level is actually breakout with volume. Okay, if let's say you are at home, probably you can just you can guess which things. Okay, there's no right or wrong, but the very obvious breakout from here is actually at this point of level. Okay, see. Okay, the first one, you will see the volume is actually increasing. The volume is increasing. You see from the 23rd, okay, 22 until 29. At this point of level, you see actually D and O, they're having a very little volume over here. But on 29 on itself, you can see, okay, I'm not sure whether it's at 29 or not, but I'm just assuming it's at 29. Okay, at this date, you can see actually the volume is higher than the day before. Okay, we are not assuming that it must be 4 days or 5 days or 3 days, but at least we are knowing that it's actually but the volume have to higher than 2 days. T2 we are saying we get T2 as an example. We have to higher than 2 days, okay, or 3 days, but better off will be 4 days. So on these 4 days, we can say that okay, it's a firm breakout. Okay, when it break out, then we will enter it at, okay, we were saying that we will enter it at this level. It break out, but I'm not sure whether I have to go in or not. So in this point level, probably I will go in. I will enter at this level, but I will just reduce my capital. So this is what we are saying as a strategy. Okay, you know this is a breakout, but you don't know whether it's a strong breakout or not. I'm saying you're still cruising, you're still wondering, you're still looking at it. Then probably at this point level, you know that it's actually breakout of upper bands, but you still want to wait for it. So probably at this level, you can just enter at a very small value. And the second day, when you see a very confirmation that okay, it's a breakout, and I will want to riding along the trends from here, from 2 ringgit 20 cents to 4 ringgit this way. So at this level of points, I will just enter again. Probably at when we're saying that probably they go back to the moving average, the middle bands, then I will go enter again. And so at this level of point, we are saying that we can enter using the breakout points. Okay, so this is the volume. Okay, this is a volume and breakout. So you have to using the volume and the Bollinger Bands together as an indicator. Okay, together as an indicator for helps you in trading. There's no there's actually different indicator we can use, like RSI, stochastics, and the Bollinger Bands and volume, price and volume in a chart, so that we can see a very firmly. But today we are focusing on the volume and Bollinger Bands. Okay, this is the strategy that I will be going through today. Okay, this is the strategy. So we are calling it as a squeeze band. Or anyone who's saying this is Bollinger squeeze or BB squeeze. Okay, this is the strategy that are we saying today. It's not really when you see in the markets, when you see on the stocks, it's actually very difficult to see on the BB squeeze. Okay, probably some of them are squeezing, but they are not. They are taking a lot of times. Okay, I will show you. For looking at this kind of stock, you have to do some homeworks. Okay, you have to do some homeworks on your own. You have to look at it and then move it to your watch list and then waiting for breakout. So this is the squeeze bands that we're saying. But using this strategy, mostly you can earn more than 10%, 20%, 50%, even like 100%. Okay, so that's why I'm focusing on using this strategy today. Okay, there's a lot of strategy for Bollinger Bands, but I prefer on this squeeze bands. Okay, this BB squeeze. BB squeeze, the Bollinger Band squeeze. We are saying short form for BB is actually the Bollinger Bands is actually BB. Okay, the Bollinger Band squeeze occur when both upper and lower band very narrow. So when they are becoming smaller, narrow, then we are saying that this Bollinger Bands are squeeze. Okay, we are calling it as squeeze bands. So what we are saying that is a BB squeeze. So in other words, BB squeeze occur when the stock's trading volume very low. Okay, the low volatility, there's no trading, there's a volume very small, very little, and the stock price consolidate and stagnant for some periods. Okay, how long is the period? Later on I will show you guys. Okay, so entry signal for BB squeeze is actually like this. Okay, sudden high volume breakout. Second, breakout of upper band. And so this is the second. This is the two signal of the squeeze Bollinger Bands when you want to enter. Okay, so I will repeat myself again. Bollinger Band squeeze is when the volume very low. Okay, just now I show you the volume charts. The volume become very low and the stock price has been stagnant and consolidated for some periods. So when you count, you will see that the upper bands and lower band is very narrow and mostly touched to the moving average, the middle bands. So that's what we call as the BB squeeze. Okay, the entry points will be two. One is sudden high breakout, high volume breakout, and the breakout of the upper bands. So the time frame there's no fixed time frame for the Bollinger Bands to break up. Okay, there's no fixed time frame. It can be 1 week. Okay, it can be 2 weeks. It can be 1 month, or even there's a typo error. Even like 3 months and 2 months. Okay, so however, the time frame for a nice BB squeeze is about like 3 months and above. For the past history, it's better for a BB squeeze to squeeze like 2 to 3 months. Okay, 2 to 3 months. Actually, 1 month is enough, but it's not perfect enough. So let's say you're about to see these charts. Okay, you're about to see these charts. Actually, they are squeezing. Actually, there's no transactions, there's no enough volume at the period of time. So in this point of level, then probably you can move it to your watch list. Okay, what I do as usual as actually I will do a watch list under different kind of things like MACD. Okay, different kind of technique. I found it is actually like I will put it as a watch list under MACD, and another watch list is under like BB squeeze, and another watch list is maybe probably like breakout. Okay, so this is what we are saying as a technique. Okay, we have to work harder. We have to work harder in order to earn in the markets. Okay, there's no free lunch in the world. So that's what I'm saying. We have to work. We have to do some homework every day. Or look at the charts. Feel free to get some time to look at the chart every day. Review every day. Put it in a watch list. And when it squeeze, when you break out, then probably this is very, very good opportunity for you to go before others won't find it out lah. Okay, riding with the bands. Okay, this is the things that we are saying, that is riding with the bands. Walking the bands is characterized by a series of tags of the upper bands, usually accompanied by a number of days on which price close outside of the bands is by John Bollinger. So you can find out this book. You can find his book John Bollinger's under the Bollinger bands, if I'm not mistaken. You can find his books and read from it if let's say you are very interested on the Bollinger band statings. Okay, this is not only one strategy for Bollinger bands, it's actually a lot of strategy. So hence, when there's a breakout of upper bands or breakout of a BB squeeze, we might riding with the bands, meaning riding, or the words riding meaning just moving around with the trends. Okay, there's a typo around the writing, sorry about that. Okay, so the returns, what I can say is that actually more than 10%. It can be more than 10%, like 20%, 50%, and 100%. It depends on your strategy. Okay, it's not compulsory. It's not saying that when the Bollinger band is breakout, you have 100% of profits. You sure will get 100%? No, I cannot guarantee on that. But this is the things that I'm the thing that I'm saying that the return can be very big. It depends on the strategy that you are applying. Okay, this is the things that we are saying on the Bollinger bands. Of course, if let's say Bollinger band, they are not breakout, they are breakout through they break down through the lower bands, it actually will have the same things as well. So the losses will be 20%, 50%, 100%. So that's why we are saying that on Bollinger bands, we have to wait for confirmations with volumes, only we enter to it. So this is what we are saying as riding on the bands. So case studies, okay, I have few case study. Then you can probably look at it and you find it at all, and probably you can share with me your own strategy and see which of these charts that you're saying. Okay, this is Hong Seng. Okay, when you look back to the last year 2020, the year end of 2020 until this year, okay, Hong Seng is actually a very penny stock. Very penny stocks is actually lower than 20 cents before he doing healthcare. So actually Hong Seng's, when you see, okay, we have 3 rules. Remember the 3 rules that we have been saying that the 4 rules. Okay, first will be the volume breakout. Second, we're looking for the BB squeeze. And third, time frame about 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, or 1 month. Okay, it depends on what chart we are looking at. Okay, the fourth one will be riding with the bands. First, with volume breakout, you will see over here this blue box over here. Okay, volume breakout, you will see yes. Okay, breakout with volume before 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, more than 6 days is actually lower in volume, but sudden volume pickup. Okay, so it match our first criteria. Okay, second will be the BB squeeze. How long is squeeze? Okay, when we look at it here, it's from October, November, December until January. Okay, this is actually more than 3 months. Okay, it's squeezed enough. Okay, the lower band and upper band is actually very narrow. So you can see over here is actually moving up for a few points. Very narrow, meaning that it's actually from a level of points like today, for example, Hong Seng is only for moving up and down at this point 0.49 to 0.55. Okay, they are not breaking out. They are not, once they break out, once they touch the resistance, they go back again. Once they touch the upper band, they go back again. So this is what we are calling as a squeeze. Okay, it's very narrow. So second criteria, yes, fulfill. Third criteria, 3 months. The time frame, yes, it fulfill again. So we're riding with the bands. Okay, so once we are confirmed with volume, just now I'm saying that we're breaking out. Okay, breakout with volume, yes, it break out with volume. Okay, when it break out with volume, we're saying that we enter at this point. If let's say you are not confident enough, probably you can enter it at a very small value. And the second day, when the confirmation is coming, then at the very first day, the very first period, like 9 a.m. or 9:30 a.m. when the volume come in, then probably you can enter another round. So this is the strategy that we can apply. Okay, so it break out, yes, but at the end of the day, they're saying that they actually pull back again. But if let's say you can look at it we found the moving average middle band as the support. Okay, if let's say it break the support, we don't break it at all. We don't put it at all. So this is the one that we are saying that as riding of the bands. So this is the profit that we can get from 0.56. Probably we'll enter at 0.56 level, and we sell off in 0.64 level at this level of points. Okay, we don't riding on a band yet. At this point of level, probably we can get like 10%. Okay, it's actually a strategy that can be used. Okay, but if let's say you're saying that I'm confident with this counter, it's actually they have a trend over there and moving with the market trends, everything, probably you can just set a support line for yourself. Once it not trigger your supports, then maybe you can hold it. So this is a strategy as well. There's different kind of strategies, depends on you, whether you are a scalper, whether you are contra, you want to use contra, or whether you like intraday. So you can use the points, you can use this strategy to get to your trading style. Okay, so 4 things to remember: volume breakup, then you look at it whether it's very squeezed. Yes, it's squeezed. Time frame 3 months, 2 months, 1 month. It depends on you how you interpret it. And then riding with the bands. Okay, riding with the bands. Second example will be NGGB. So this NGGB is actually very low volume. Okay, very low volume. When you can see from October to February to until March, even the first period of March is actually not very much volume lah. And the pricing is actually stagnant at this point of level. Okay, enable your BB squeeze, enable your Bollinger bands. First, we're looking at the volume breakout. Okay, well, first we're already looking at it. Volume breakout. Yes, it's actually volume breakout at this point level. Yes, this is a breakout over here, but when you see that it break out the upper bands and it pull back again, at this point level I will not enter. Probably I will enter at the first, but when the seller becomes stronger, probably I will just take profit first, and then I look for the confirmation tomorrow. When it pull back to the moving average again, I will just consider it again. I will just monitor it again. When it really touch and break the upper bands with a very strong volume, like on March here, then only I will riding on the bands. Okay. Second will the BB squares that I was showing here lah. So this will be the second things. Okay, the green box over here. Okay, it's actually very narrow. Okay, it's very narrow, and the volume is actually very low from October here, 12th, 13th, from October 13th until February is actually very low. Okay, so it fulfill our criteria. And third one, we're saying that's a time frame with 3 months. 3 months statements, 3 months little volume, and 3 months is very squeezed around. So that's we are saying that's a BB squeeze, and it can fulfill our criteria. Only we are using it. Okay. So fourth, when I'm saying that as a confirmation, once we confirm the riding with the bands is actually moving along with the upper bands, then we will only riding with the bands. Okay, not to be greedy. If let's say I'm not to be greedy, I'm entered it at this point of level. Okay, 0.43, probably I buy it at very high, like 0.42. Okay, enter at very high. It's still not touching on the supports on the middle band yet, so I was still holding it. So in this point level, I was thinking it, if let's say it touch my support level, I will cut loss. But if let's say it's still moving along with the upper bands, I will still holding it. Not to be greedy, at this point level on March 15th, about like 1 week and 2 weeks, I will just take profit. Once there's a pullback formations, I will just take profit first and wait until there's another confirmations. Okay, another confirmation. At this point level, 0.40 to 0.53 is 54 is actually more than 10%. Okay, at this point level we can earn 10%. But if let's say I'm riding with the trends, I'm riding with the bands, I'm saying that if not touching my middle bands, my supports, then I will not selling at. I will just wait for it. Since I'm entered at a very low price, then I will just wait for it. So if let's say you have this determination, you have this long time, you have this holding power, and the market is allowed us to do so, and this point level probably is more than 30% yet. It's from 0.48. This one we're saying that probably we can enter at the very high level, 0.48 until 0.67. So this is the meaning of the riding of the bands. Okay. So next, the last things that we are saying from here is actually notions. Okay, notion is a very long chart. It's from 2016 to 2017, but it's a very perfect things that we can see from this chart. We can interpret on the Bollinger Bands. So volume breakup. Okay, BB squeeze and time frame 3 months riding with the bands. You can just make the sequence on your own. Probably you can just make it on your own. Like probably you can look at the BB squeeze first, whether it's a very narrow bands, and then the time frame will about like 3 months, and only you look at the volume breakup. It depends on you. There's no right and wrong in this strategy. Okay, everyone has different strategy. So first one, I'm looking at the volume breakout first. Okay, volume breakout first. Why I'm not looking at this level of breakout? Because it's breakout it's actually a breakout as well, but I don't like it because it's not confirmed yet. I don't like the confirmation, so that's why I will just probably at this point of level, like May 16, this point of level, I will just putting it as a trading. Okay, I might be wrong, I will be right, but I will enter it at very low. I wait for confirmations. If I say still cannot, then I will just pull myself off, come out yet, so I don't enter yet. So when you see the second ones, will be the BB squeeze. Okay, the narrow of the upper band and lower band, you can see, right? The dot line is actually the upper bands, and at the lower bands is actually the lower tails of the candlestick lah. Okay, so I will make it squeezer for this chart because it squeezed a very long period, so that's why I squeeze the charts a bit lah. And then third one, I will be looking at the time from 3 months. Okay, 3 months is actually more than 3 months. When we don't calculate at the breakout over here on the May, actually is 1, 2, 3 years. It fulfill our criteria 1, 2, 3 months, but it break out. Yet it not riding with the bands, it not break out above the upper bands, it not moving above the upper bands. So I will just pull back. I will just pull back first. Okay, I will just take off first, and I will still pumping at our list. I will watch list. Okay, I will not give up on it first. I will just put it in the watch list. Okay, and I wait, and then probably this is a very long time period. It's not like Hong Sen's, not like NGGB that we mentioned just now. This actually take more than 1 year. From February to December is about like 8 months. Okay, so at this point of level, I was seeing that it actually break out. It's actually breakout where we can saying that the volume. Okay, the volume breakout before the 4 day before. So this is the criteria we were saying just now. And then the time period is more than 3 months and riding with the bands. Okay, we can enter it at one of the points that we are saying that is actually we entered it at a very small value. If let's say we are not sure whether it's actually riding with the upper bands. Okay, if let's say it's not riding on the upper band, I might be wrong. So if let's say I'm not confident enough, I will just hold like 50% of my strategy first. I will just say, okay, I enter 50% of my capital first. And after that, if let's say second day is confident, I'm confident enough to saying that yes, it's a very good breakout, it's a very firm breakout, and this one is real. This one is real. At this point level, then only 100% you go into it, and then at the level of this, you will able to riding with the bands. Okay, at 0.32 to 0.8, this level is more than 100%. Okay, not to be greedy, but it can be more than 100%. That's just what I saying that the return can be 10%, 20%, 50%, or even 100%. It depends on your strategy. Okay, I will make the middle band as the support at this level. Okay, I can make it the lower band as a support level, but I will just take the middle band, as middle band is actually 20 days of the moving average. Okay, if let's say they don't set pots 20 days, 1 month moving average, then probably I will not. It will be failure. I will not seeing these stocks as a very strong trends anymore. So I will give up on it. Okay, so this is a trend that we're saying. Okay, so in conclusions, Bollinger Band is a very great technical analysis tool to check for the oversold and overbought points. That we're saying that oversold is actually the lower bands, and overbought is actually the lower band. Okay, the upper band. Oversold is actually the lower band. Overbought is actually the upper band. So this is what we are saying as the Bollinger Bands. It can be resistance, it can be support. It depends on your own things lah. So the 4 criteria need to tag along with the charts. Okay, so what's the 4 criteria? The volume breakout. Okay, we look back here. It's actually a volume breakout. BB squeeze. Time frames 3 months. It can be 1, 2, 3, or even more than 3 months. So we put it when the squeeze is about like 1 month, you can put it into your watches again. Okay, it will be probably you have to wait for a long time for this strategy, this Bollinger Bands, but trust me, it can earn money in the market, even like market slow as right now. Okay, do you feel that the market is starting to become slow recently due to the political thing, due to the Dow Jones breakdown, okay, and close up everything, but our volume is actually decreasing from times to times. Okay, so at this point of level, it's time for us to think, time for us to do some homework, looking for stock that have this kind of criteria, looking for stock that are fulfilled with our criteria, and we do some then we can do some things on it. Okay, so remember the criteria. And okay, since we have some time, I will just looking at the questions. So can we screen the BB squeeze in M plus read? Okay, the BB squeeze is actually you have to find it as a homework. In our M plus is actually we provide BBs, the Bollinger Bands indicator, but we don't provide the screener for it. Okay, we don't provide screener for it. So it's actually when you see when there's a Bollinger Band squeeze and for periods of 1 month, then probably you can watch it, put it into a watch list. Right, this is the things. Bollinger Bands is actually work in the uptrending charting. Yes, it's actually work. Okay, work, but you have to look at it work as another different story. Okay, it actually can become the upper band can become the resistance. Okay, but if the criteria of the Bollinger Band is have to move along with the upper bands. Okay, when it moves along the upper bands, it's actually a strong rebound trend. This is the trends that we're saying. Okay, we can riding with the bands that we're saying. If as long as it's not touching on the lower bands, and the support, we're saying that we can look at the for short term period, we can look the moving average as the support line. So actually we have to fulfill all the criteria, and we have to look at the overall general markets, because the markets is not as good as before. Okay, yes, for Bollinger Band squeeze is actually you have to do some homework, you have to screen one by one. Not to saying that you have to purposely and go and screen every little of this stock lah, but it can be it can be a technical analysis. It can be a homework for you to do when you look at the charts, because perhaps that every one of you, when you look at the stock, you will look at the chart as well, right? When you look at the chart, you will see that actually this has the potential to become a BB squeeze. Then you put it into your watch list. Okay, there's no free lunch in this world. That's what I can say. Do some homework, then probably you can earn a very good returns. Okay. So this is the thing for today. If let's say you have any question to I will try to comments and reply to the comments. Okay, so thank you, and stay strong, stay safe in this FMCO periods. Okay, thank you for your time today. Thank you very much.